Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I am Skylar James, and today we're going to be finding out who is going to reap the benefits of the $2 trillion, not million, not billion, $2 trillion infrastructure package. With every law, every legislation, every bill, there are winners and losers. And President Biden's Build Back Better infrastructure plan will have a lot of winners. You have 2 trillion reasons to follow closely and find out which sectors are going to benefit the most. So stay tuned for the breakdown, and as a bonus, at the end of this video, I'll cover a super simple, easy button on how anyone can make an investment play on this bill. This infrastructure plan is wide-ranging in its scope, but there are clear overarching themes that'll help us determine which investments will do well and which industries will benefit the most. First, a little house cleaning about the Build Back Better plan. It's currently in the proposal stage, but the Democrats have made clear that they can push through legislation if need be. If and when the bill passes, there will undoubtedly be modifications, but expect the overarching themes to remain intact. There are 4 main parts to the spending bill. Let's focus on the meatiest part first. That is transportation, making up 1/3 of the total pie and an obvious winner of any infrastructure bill. The golden child of this legislation and a huge economic driver for future generations will be electric vehicles and EV stations. I assume nobody is surprised by this. With the hope of moving the nation toward a carbon neutral future and becoming actual competitors in the global electric vehicle market, 28%, or about $174 billion of the transportation funds would go to swapping bus fleets and government transit rigs with electric ones. The government will also continue offering tax incentives to buyers of electric cars and pushing for the installation of nearly 500,000 more EV stations. An obvious play here would be Tesla, ticker TSLA, but there are a number of other great EV makers that should benefit, like LORDSTOWN Motors, ticker is RIDE, or Lucid, ticker CCIV, and you've got the EV station owners and builders like ChargePoint, ticker is CHPT, and Blink Charging, ticker BLNK. It's also important to add that in the president's address to introduce the proposal, he mentioned his plan would use solely American manufacturers and products throughout all the aspects.
As the executive order I signed early on, that we buy American. That means investing in American-based companies and American workers. Not a contract will go out that I control that will not go to a company that is an American company with American products all the way down the line and American workers.
I've also talked about this in previous videos, how Warren Buffett recommends investing predominantly in American companies in the American stock market. All of this stimulus will equate to strong growth over the coming decade in the US electric vehicle and carbon removal markets. What you'll also see is that clean energy is the destination and ultimate goal for many of these initiatives. So we'll see it crop up in a number of times in this analysis. This first chunk also includes $115 billion to modernize roads, highways, and bridges that are in the most critical of need. $85 billion to bring our public transit services out of the Stone Age, and $80 billion to enhance and expand the Amtrak system, all of which would add significant jobs in the labor market and increase the output of businesses within those sectors. A smart play in this space is Vulcan Materials, ticker VMC. They're the nation's largest producer of construction aggregates for building and repairing roads. And Caterpillar, ticker CAT, the producer of those beautiful yellow construction machines seen on almost every construction site. In his address, President Biden highlighted the need for a complete rebuild of the 10 most economically significant bridges across the nation. But as of now, those bridges and their locations are unknown. Wherever they may be, the economic impact for the engineering, construction, and manufacturing sectors should be huge near those locales. Jobs will be created and the money will trickle into and throughout those local economies. The remaining dollars from this chunk will go to transportation miscellaneous, including climate-related resiliencies for natural disasters, airport upgrades, road safety, and waterway transportation. The second portion is an equally meaty chunk at $650 billion, taking up another third of the overall budget and is allocated to communities, households, and quality of life for all citizens. This second chunk will aim to enhance the infrastructure of our communities, things like homes, schools, and utilities. In fact, $213 billion alone will be used to build and upgrade millions of affordable homes and commercial buildings, as well as restore 500,000 homes owned by people earning at the middle income level or lower. Additionally, to help correct and prevent disasters like the Flint, Michigan water crisis, $111 billion will be used to replace lead water pipes and modernize all of our water systems. Around $300 billion would be parsed out to upgrade the electric grid, build and disperse high-speed broadband internet to everybody, especially those in rural communities, and to improve or build more public schools. The theme in all of this is build, build, build. But it's also important to take note that most of it comes down to how we can modernize our nation while preparing for a cleaner, more efficient, and more sustainable future. A couple of strong plays in this sector are Brookfield Infrastructure Corporation, ticker is BIPC, and it says right there in their name, they are an infrastructure company that will be front and center in the electric grid and data network upgrades. And Crown Castle Infrastructure, their ticker is CCI. They're a leading wireless REIT, or real estate investment trust. Told you we'd see this again. Overt examples of clean energy goals include the $27 billion for a Clean Energy and Sustainable Accelerator initiative and $16 billion funneled toward a cleanup of abandoned mines and plugging old and unused oil and gas wells. And what of the remaining funds for our second chunk? Well, money has also been allocated to public housing, community college infrastructure, child care facilities, VA hospitals, and new jobs within public land and public works. To capitalize on these projects, you'll want to look at large steel manufacturers like Cleveland-Cliffs, ticker CLF. They're vertically integrated in that they mine the iron ore and then convert it into all different types of construction-grade steel. $300 billion has been set aside for our third slice of the pie, to research, development, and manufacturing. Funds seem fairly evenly distributed throughout the different categories in this chunk. However, when you group many of the categories together, a certain theme becomes apparent. You guessed it, seemingly $180 billion from this pot will go toward new research and development that somehow relates to climate change, lowering emissions and increasing efficient, clean energy. This would also increase our global standing in the realm of technology and clean initiatives in which the US has unfortunately become a laggard. In fact, this entire chunk seems to be dedicated to moving the United States further into the future, funding more research, upgrading necessary labs, and looking into cleaner technologies. One important figure to highlight is the $50 billion that would go towards semiconductor production and research. Semiconductors are important elements in most any electronic products, from your personal device all the way up to your electric car. For exposure to this sector, I'm going to recommend we take a page from Kathy Wood and ARK Invest's book by looking for companies with exposure to RISC-V architecture. These are a little harder to drill down into since RISC-V is open source, but Western Digital, ticker WDC, and Microchip, ticker MCHP, both develop chips off of the reduced instruction set that is RISC-V. An interesting side note I came across when researching this is that large construction projects, they actually place small semiconductor sensors in the concrete to send back data as it dries and cures. Who knew laying concrete was such a high-tech endeavor? Other shout-outs from this third chunk include worker support and protections, upgrading the infrastructures of laboratories, small business R&D support, and pandemic prevention programs. Our fourth and final piece of the pie is a whopping $400 billion solely reserved for the improvement of caregiving facilities in the country. All types of care for both the elderly and disabled would get a huge overhaul under this plan, as well as an expansion of Medicaid to ensure that more people receive care for more things. And in my opinion, care workers are often underpaid. A boost in wages would hopefully be included. While this last chunk is extremely important, it likely won't be vital to any investment plays we're talking about today. Okay, if all these facts and figures and investment plays are kind of making your head spin, that's totally fine. I've got that easy button for you. First, let's recap on which market sectors will likely see boom times due to the Build Back Better plan over the next 10 to 15 years. And while it's reported that most of the bill's spending will take place in the first 8 years, the economic benefits and market growth will continue long after that. So what sectors should see these benefits? Well, we should already know that clean energy, emissions, and carbon neutrality sectors will be front and center in reaping these rewards. Keeping the idea in mind that clean energy and climate repair is infused throughout the entire $2 trillion plan, this sector will win out big. Clean energy is already the way of the future, so really the president's infrastructure plan just adds another reason to invest in it. But also automakers, construction and engineering firms, the transportation industry, and the tech industry should all be seeing some huge rewards as well. The most important thing to keep in mind when looking at different entities within these sectors is that if they aren't focused on carbon neutrality or clean energy, they likely won't be getting an infusion from this plan. But if they are focused on this, and now back to that easy button. Say forget it to all these individual stocks and trying to build your own diversified portfolio, and instead invest just one. That is the iShares US Infrastructure ETF. Ticker is IFRA. This ETF has 153 holdings and has a 0.4% expense ratio. It's also been on a tear since President Biden's announcement of the Build Back Better plan. As a side note, I'm bullish on the owner of all the iShares ETFs, which is BlackRock, ticker BLK. I walked through a full analysis on BlackRock in one of my previous videos, so check it out. So whether you're looking to make an investment or just curious which sectors will outperform if and when this bill passes, I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, please subscribe, like, and comment down below. Thanks for joining.